The Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2, in conjunction with Colfax High School, presents Viking pregame. A look at today's Colfax Vikings boys game. And now, Viking pregame.
Good evening and welcome to the NLWN2 studios. Rick Olson here, and tonight, the 8-15 Colfax Vikings, who are 5-8 in the Dunn St. Croix Conference, are getting ready to celebrate senior night as well as wrap up their 2023-24 regular season while they take on the Mondovi Buffaloes, who are 1-12 in the Dunn St. Croix Conference as well as 2-21 overall. The Vikings are looking to right the ship as they prepare for the WIAA regionals beginning on Tuesday. The Buffaloes are coming off a 55-43 loss to Eau Claire Emmanuel Lutheran back on Monday. Now, in tonight's edition of Viking Pregame, we'll take a look at tonight's matchup between the Mondovi Buffaloes and the Colfax Vikings. Then we'll give Viking head coach Mark Knowles' outlook on tonight's game. Following that, we'll take a quick look around at where things stand in the Dunn St. Croix Conference heading into the final games of conference play. And then our broadcast crew will bring you all the play-by-play action of tonight's game from Colfax High School. So it's time to get ready for some exciting high school boys basketball. All that coming up right after this brief timeout. You're tuned to Viking Pregame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN2, and Viking TV.
We're all just trying to keep things running for those who rely on us. That's why we don't have time to be sick with the flu.
We don't have time for delays.
Ready!
We don't have time for spills.
Next.
We don't have time for setbacks. Let's be real.
Getting the flu shot
Helps you fight the flu.
Get a flu shot for yourself and those around you too.
Welcome back to Viking Pregame, where we're getting ready to bring you all the action of tonight's game with a Dunn St. Croix Conference matchup between the Mondovi Buffaloes and the Colfax Vikings. The 8-15 Vikings, who are 5-8 in the Dunn St. Croix, are hoping to bounce back and right the ship for the WIAA regionals following their 72-31 loss to the Wausau East Lumberjacks back on Monday. The Buffaloes are sitting at 1-12 overall as well as 2-21 in conference play. Now, in the Vikings' effort against Wausau East, the Vikings fell behind early and battled back in the first half, but just couldn't keep up with the number one Division II seed in the Wausau East Lumberjacks. Now, in that effort, the Vikings were led in scoring by 6-foot senior Blake Johnson, who hit on 4 of 11 field goals, including a three-pointer for 9 points. He was followed by 6'6" junior Logan Swartz, who hit on 4 field goals for 8 points. On the boards, the Vikings were led by Theo Hovde, Eli Ralph, and Logan Swartz, who each grabbed 7 rebounds. The Mondovi Buffaloes, under the direction of Sarah Brenner, have had a pretty tough go of things this season. They are currently sitting at 1-12 in the Dunn St. Croix Conference, as well as 2-21 overall. The Buffaloes are coming off a 55-43 loss to the Eau Claire Emmanuel Lutheran Lancers on Monday. Now, so far this season, Mondovi is being led in scoring by 6'4" senior Austin Remington, who's shooting 50% from the floor and 68% from the free throw line while averaging 11 points per game. He's followed by 6'1" senior Landon Clark, who's hitting on 30% from the floor, as well as 64% from the charity stripe, while averaging 10 points per game. On the boards, Remington and Clark lead the Buffaloes by pulling down around 8 and 4 rebounds per game, respectively. Now, thus far this season, the Vikings are being led in scoring by 5'9" senior Elijah Ensminger, who's hitting on 39% from the floor, including 26% from three-point land and 71% from the free throw line, while averaging 16.5 points per game. Aiden Fisher is also scoring in double digits as he's scoring on 38% from the floor, including 27% from beyond the arch, as well as going 76% from the charity stripe with an average of over 14 points per game. Eli Ralph, Blake Johnson, and Mason Yarrington are also contributing right around 5 points per game each. Now, leading the way rebounding for the Vikings is Fisher, who's grabbing around 6 boards per game, with Eli Ralph grabbing over 4. Coming up next, following this timeout, we'll get the coach's perspective as we chat with Viking head coach Mark Knoll on Coach's Corner. You're tuned to Viking Pregame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2.
Here's Grandma Florence after that flood wiped out the whole neighborhood.
Sometimes I just cannot believe all the storms we've gone through here.
I can only hope that we'll be able to leave this house to you one day, baby. You're our legacy.
Planning for these disasters will make sure we're safe, and is the best way to protect that legacy.
Your family is your legacy. Planning for a natural disaster will make sure you're all safe. Visit ready.gov/plan for the tools and tips you need to start your emergency preparedness plan today.
Time now to see what the coaches have to say. It's Coach's Corner, what they look at tonight's game from the coach's point of view. And now, Coach's Corner.
Once again on Coach's Corner, we're talking with Viking boys head coach Mark Knoll. And Coach, tonight the Vikings will have the opportunity to right the ship and get ready for the WIAA regionals. But before we get to that, let's take a look back at Monday, where the Vikings dropped a game to the Wausau East Lumberjacks. What are your thoughts about that game?
Well, obviously we had to go on the road, like an hour and 40 minutes away to Wausau East and play a number 1 Division II seed in Wausau East, who's a really good team. I mean, that's the size of like Menominee, River Falls, New Richmond is who's in their regional, I should say. And, and they showed us why they're a number 1 team. I thought, at the start of the game, we started off down 13-0 and called timeout, got the guys, maybe woke up at that time. And then we went on a 20-7 run. So then it was 20-25 with about a minute 40 seconds before halftime. And then they went on another 10-0 run. So we were down 15 at halftime, 35-20. But I still thought we played a solid first half, and that was with Aiden Fisher getting 2 fouls and Elijah not feeling very well in that game. So with those two not being as effective as normal, that was still good for us to be able to be in that game. And then the second half, it just kind of blew open, which it is what it is. We went in that game knowing that we were not gonna play some of our kids that much because it was a meaningless game.
Well, in fact, you just kind of alluded to it in that game. It seemed as though the Vikings showed that they could play with Wausau East in the first half, just couldn't get shots to drop, and then East used their height advantage and control of the boards to steadily pull away in the second half. You can't do much if you just don't have the same height as the other team.
Yeah, I think the biggest difference was more than height, because heights was, they had a big post player, but other than that, we were matched up fairly decent with them. I was more impressed with their intensity on defense and how fast they can move from defense to offense in their transition game. And you're going to get that because they play at a higher level, a higher level of competition every night. So they're used to that intensity. And then with that intensity becomes more physicality in the game. And we're not used to that in the Dun St. Croix.
Well, tonight the Vikings will get back into conference action as they take on the Mondovi Buffaloes in the final conference game for both teams this season. What can you tell us about the Buffaloes?
Well, the Buffaloes, if you looked at their record, you would think, this team is not that good of a team. But when you look at their record and who they've played against and the amount of games that they've lost by 5, 6, 7, 8 points, they've had a lot of games against really good quality opponents where they're right there. Recently, they lost to Durand by 7, and Durand is, up for the conference championship tonight in our conference. So, with that said, Mondovi is kind of a scary team because if you overlook them, they can get you. And we obviously don't want that to happen. And it's on senior night. We want to honor our seniors with playing as hard as we can and letting them go out on their last game at home with a W.
You know, you bring up senior night, and I'm going to have you talk about those 4 seniors in just a minute. But it also is kind of an emotionally charged night for the players. And sometimes that emotion can work against you. Sometimes it can work for you. And to me, it seems like it's a matter of, can you focus that energy from the emotion into positive play on the floor, or is it going to mess up your game?
Yeah, I understand exactly where you're coming from and what you're saying. And obviously, we want the kids to play with emotion and energy, right? That's something that we look for every single game. And we're going to take the emotion of it being senior night and go out there, just have fun and try to play hard. And one thing we talked about with our team was we're treating this as a tournament game. Even though it's still our last regular season game, we're treating it as a tournament game. So I want to see the kids be sharp. I want to see the kids come out and play at a high level of basketball with a lot of intensity.
Now, you did mention it is senior night tonight. You have 4 Vikings that are going to be putting on for the last time in front of a home crowd. Tell us a little about those 4 boys.
Yeah, I mean, we have, 4 seniors that I truly do love. I've got Elijah, Blake, Eli, and Mason. The 4 of them, what I can tell you about those kids is that they're committed to our program. They've always done what we've asked them to do, whether it's going to leagues, going to open gyms, working at our youth tournaments. If we need help with something, they're always there. All 4 of those kids are always there. And I know they're going to be, all 4 of them are going to be super successful in life. And I think more important than all those things, and obviously that's a huge one, the last one I just said, but another one that's going to be big is when they look back on their career and they think about their
high school library at this time with their Chromebook. Thank you.
Sorry about that. When they look back on their career, they're going to remember how good of a friend they were to each other, and that's what they're going to remember the most. And I can truly say that they will have great memories of each other.
Well, Coach Noel, first of all, on behalf of the Northern Light Webcasting Network, I'd like to thank you for taking the time out of your busy day to talk with us before each game. And I'd also like to thank the Vikings for providing a season of exciting basketball for us to see, as this will be our final broadcast for this season. We'll get to do it all again next year. Good luck on tonight's game. Hopefully the Vikings can head into the WIA regionals next week with a little bit of momentum.
Thank you very much, and go Vikings.
You've been listening to Coach's Corner, where they look at tonight's game from the coach's point of view. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
My mother was always very familiar with her neighborhood, but one day she stopped at the stop sign for much longer than usual, and she didn't know whether she should go forward or turn, and she wasn't even really sure where she was at. It was very unsettling for her.
I felt so much better after my son told me, "Mom, I don't want you to worry or be afraid. I'll be there for you and we'll figure it out."
Welcome back to Viking Pregame as we're getting ready to bring you tonight's Dunn St. Croix Conference game, pitting the Colfax Vikings against the Mondovi Buffaloes. Now, before we get to tonight's game, it would be a good idea to look around at the Dunn St. Croix Conference to see where things stand as the conference heads into its final games prior to the WIAA regionals. Now, last Monday, 5 Dunn St. Croix conference teams saw non-conference action, including the Colfax Vikings being defeated by the Wausau East Lumberjacks 72-31, while the Elk Mound Mounders took care of the Baldwin Woodville Blackhawks 64-51, and the Glenwood City Hilltoppers were topped by the Luck Cardinals 82-69, as well as the Cochrane Fountain City Pirates besting the Elmwood Plum City Wolves 71-58, and the Eau Claire Emmanuel Lutheran Lancers upended Mondovi 55-43. Now that leaves the Dunn St. Croix Conference standings as follows. Sitting all alone in first place with a 12-1 record are the Durand, Arkansas Panthers. The Elk Mound Mounders are trying to chase them down. They're in second, one game back, with an 11-2 record. In third place at 10-3 are the Spring Valley Cardinals, and 2 games out of first. In fourth place are the Boyceville Bulldogs with a 6-7 record and 6 games behind the leader. And in sixth place we find the Colfax Vikings tied with the Glenwood City Hilltoppers with 5-8 records. In seventh place lies the Elmwood Plum City Wolves, while eighth place belongs to the Mondovi Buffaloes. Now tonight, the Dunn St. Croix Conference wraps up its regular season with a full slate of action, including the Vikings hosting the Mondovi Buffaloes and the Glenwood City Hilltoppers traveling to Elk Mound to take on the Mounders, while the Durand, Arkansas Panthers host the Boyceville Bulldogs and the Spring Valley Cardinals face off against the Elmwood Plum City Wolves in Plum City. Now tonight, it's senior night at Colfax High, and 4 seniors will be honored. They include Elijah Ensminger, Mason Yarrington, Blake Johnson, and Eli Ralph. This means that this game may be very well emotionally charged. And the question is, can the Vikings focus that emotional energy into successful play? The Buffaloes and the Vikings faced each other back on January 19th in Mondovi, with the Vikings coming out on top 68-52. So far this season, the Vikings are scoring 53 points per game while giving up 63. The Buffaloes are putting up 34 per game while allowing 56. So the stage is set for some exciting boys high school basketball, and we'll have all the action for you right here on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN2. And we should mention that tonight's game will be our final Viking boys game on NLWN2 for the 2023-2024 season. We at the Northern Light Webcasting Network would like to thank the Vikings and the Colfax School District for the opportunity to bring you Viking basketball this season. Now, in just a moment, we'll send it out to our broadcast crew at Colfax School, where we will bring you all the action of tonight's Dunn St. Croix Conference finale between the Colfax Vikings and the Mondovi Buffaloes. That's all coming up next. You've been tuned to Viking Pregame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN2, and Viking TV.
You know you don't have to wear your PT gear anymore, right?
It's comfortable.
So how's civilian life treating you?
It's fine.
When I got out, I didn't want to admit that there was anything wrong because I felt like a failure. And then I realized, like, there's nothing to be ashamed of. So I started talking to someone. Maybe you are fine. But if you're not, it's okay.
Thank you.
If you or a veteran you know needs support, don't wait. Reach out. Find resources at va.gov/reach.
You've been tuned to Viking Pregame with a look at today's Colfax Viking Boys game. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2. Stay tuned, coming up next is live Colfax Viking basketball. It happens to everyone eventually. Your computer goes on the fritz. Fear not, Sladen's Technology Services can help. When your computer decides to not cooperate, it can be very frustrating. Let Sladen's Technology Services keep you from wanting to drive your computer right off a cliff. Sladen's Technology Services supports business of all sizes. They offer assistance with managed anti-malware, encrypted email, fast tech support, data backup, and recovery, and more. Call Sladen's Technology Services at 715-864-2833 and get the IT help you desire. Sladen's Technology Services is the official IT service for the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
In November of 2018, our daughter Jana passed away. The outpouring of support was unbelievable. Support that we received inspired us to start a foundation called the Jana Kelly Memorial Foundation. And through that foundation,
we've given back in a lot of different ways, through projects, through different other charities that we've supported. We like to help Humane Association, and the Ronald McDonald House is something that's very near and dear to us. We've also recently, this last year, we actually built a tiny house. It's really exciting to be able to give back in different ways.
To learn more or to help financially, find us on Facebook or www.janakelly.com.
Colfax Viking Boys Basketball is on the air.
He'll pass it out to Blake Johnson. He'll take the shot for 3. Vikings.
The Northern Light Webcasting Network, along with NLWN2, is excited to bring you Colfax High School Boys Basketball.
Swinger down inside to Hoffman. He'll drive the right side of the lane, pop it up from 6. Good.
Join us as we follow the Vikings while they battle their way through the Dunn St. Croix Conference.
Charlo out to Ensminger for 3. He hits it!
And now out to the gym for today's Colfax Viking basketball.
Good evening. Welcome to Colfax High School. It is senior night and the final regular season and Dunn St. Croix Conference team or game for both of these teams. The Mondovi Buffaloes come in here with a record of 1-12 in the Dunn St. Croix Conference. They are in 8th place. They are 2-21 on the season. The Colfax Vikings are tied for 5th in the conference with Glenwood City with a record of 5-8. They are 8-15 on the year. Boys tournament gets underway next week, and the girls tournament is going now. And we'll have some information on who's playing who and all that kind of thing as we go on tonight. I'm Jay Fall here with Dan Petshaw, Chris Olson operating the camera, and our executive producer, Rick Olson. Tonight's Colfax Viking Boys Basketball game is brought to you by the Colfax Animal Hospital. Let Doctors Austin and Nikki Pritchard and their friendly staff take care of your pet. C&K Construction, your concrete experts for the Chippewa Valley. Dairy State Bank, where they're banking on relationships. Midwest Environmental Consultants, soil testers for western Wisconsin. Anderson Bridges, who've been manufacturing prefabricated steel truss bridges since 1989. Slayton's Technology, IT provider for the Northern Light Webcasting Network. Menominee Eye and Optical, with quality, personalized care for you and your family. And Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax, comfort food the way Mom used to make it. Be sure to thank these fine sponsors for bringing you Colfax Viking basketball by doing business with them soon. We'll have more in our pregame coming your way next in a minute. Northern Light on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN2, and Viking TV.
Give yourself a little love this Valentine's Day. Open a health savings account or HSA to save tax-free dollars for out-of-pocket medical costs. Eyeglasses, braces, and acupuncture are just a few items allowed by the IRS. Dairy State Bank HSAs are serviced locally and work like a regular checking account. Pay by check or with a debit card and access your account through online or mobile banking. Give us a call to learn more. Dairy State Bank. Banking on relationships. Member FDIC.
Are your animals feeling a little under the weather? Give the nice folks at Colfax Animal Hospital a call. Austin and Nikki Pritchard are just what the doctor ordered. In fact, they are the doctors and they're ready to help. That's the Colfax Animal Hospital. Give them a call at 715-962-3380.
Welcome back. As we mentioned, it's senior night here at Colfax, and 4 of the 5 starters are seniors, and they'll be honored post-game tonight. They are 5'9" guard, number 10, Elijah Ensminger, 5'10" guard, number 15, Mason Yarrington, 6-foot guard, 23, Blake Johnson, and 6'3" forward, number 33, Eli Ralph. Aiden Fisher is the other starter, and he is a junior. Mondovi's 2 wins came very early in the season. They beat Oliva Strum 45-22 in Mondovi, and then edged Plum City Elmwood in Mondovi 47-46. And the Buffaloes have not won since then. The Vikings' last win was here a week ago against Plum City Elmwood 59-53. And they dropped games at Glenwood City last Friday, 76-44, and at Wausau East on Monday night, 72-31. As we mentioned, this is the final regular season game for both squads. It will also be our final broadcast of Colfax basketball here on the Northern Light Webcasting Network. Tournaments will get underway for the boys in Division 4 on Tuesday night. The Vikings got the number 10 seed in the regional, and they will travel up to number 7 Shell Lake to play them on Tuesday night at 7 p.m. The Colfax girls didn't have to play in the first set on Tuesday night, but they will travel to number 4 Grantsburg. Colfax got the number 5 seed for the girls, and that game will be at Grantsburg at 7 o'clock on Friday night. So, other games going on around the Dunn-St. Croix tonight. Boyceville is at Durand, Arkansas. Glenwood City is at Elk Mound, and Spring Valley is at Plum City, Elmwood. So everybody's playing tonight in the conference, and we will be underway here very shortly with the introduction of the national anthem, introduction of the starting lineups, and all that good pregame stuff. So we will be back with that after this message on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN. Okay. Dan, your thoughts on tonight's matchup?
Yeah, I think Colfax plays pretty good at home. Ball movement on offense. Try to get some open shots. Probably see a lot of Ensminger tonight. And on defense, they got to make sure they cover the paint. Remington likes to work it inside. Probably going to have to double team a little bit in there. And you can kind of give them some points on the paint or on the perimeter because Mondovi does shoot threes, but their percentage is kind of low. So, yeah, that'll be kind of the game plan tonight.
Place your hand over your heart to honor the flag as the national anthem is sang by Colfax High School student Adrian Beebe.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last evening, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, sing us that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Welcome to Colfax High School for senior night and tonight's Dunn-St. Croix boys basketball matchup between the Mondovi Buffaloes and your Colfax Vikings. Introducing the starters for the Buffaloes, a senior, number 2, Jacob Lindsay. A senior, number 13, Landon Clark. A senior, number 15, Austin Remington. A senior, number 20, Bryce Bollinger. And a junior, number 42, Hayden Dean. The Buffaloes are led by head coach Sarah Brenner. And now the starting lineup for your Colfax Vikings. coaches, players, and fans what it means to be a good sport.
At Colfax High School, sportsmanship is an expectation, so please let the players play, let the coaches coach, let the officials officiate, let the spectators be positive. Thank you all fans, players, and coaches for letting me sportsmanship show. Have fun watching us play.
Both teams out on the court. We're ready to get underway here. The Mondovi Buffaloes in road blue with white numbers and trim. They're moving left or right to left as you look on here. Colfax in home white, red numerals and trim, moving left to right. Eli Ralph going up against Austin Remington, and the Buffaloes come up with the tip. Landon Clark with it. Clark up on top, fires to the left side. Good defense by Elijah Ensminger, and it went off the fingertips of Jake Lindsay and out of bounds. Colfax will have it. 17:49 to go. First half. Ensminger with Lindsay guarding him. Ensminger fires off to the right to Fisher. Fisher down in the corner, back to Ensminger, rolls off, rebounded by the Buffaloes, Austin Remington. Landon Clark down the far side with Blake Johnson guarding him. Colfax on a man-to-man. Toss goes to Bollinger. Down underneath to Landon Clark. Clark pops it up from 10. Missed, rebounded by Ensminger. Ensminger up the floor to Yarrington. Yarrington back to Ensminger. Ensminger on the baseline, bounces it out to Ensminger, or out to Yarrington at the top of the key. And from the baseline, Yarrington goes up, ball knocked out of bounds. It is going to the Buffaloes. Just under 17 minutes to go, first half. We're scoreless yet. And bringing up the ball is Clark. Clark crossing the center jump circle. Blake Johnson guarding him. Hands it off to Deeden. Down underneath Remington. Reverse layup, and it is 2-0 Mondovi. 16:35 to go. First half. Ensminger on the left wing, give and go to Johnson. Johnson back out to Ensminger, looks at a three ball, will dribble a little bit, back to Blake Johnson. He drives the lane and is fouled on the way in. That foul's going to be charged to Landon. Nope, check that. Caden Deeden. 42, that's the first foul of the game. Johnson fires out to Ensminger. Free throw line left. He'll dish it back to Fisher. Fisher out to Yarrington. Yarrington for three, catches the back iron, rebounded by Remington of Mondovi. Clark crossing the timeline with it. Johnson guarding him, over to Remington. And then they dish it down underneath. Great block on that play by Ralph. That shot from Clark knocked out of bounds. Remington will throw it into Clark, far side, back to Remington. He'll turn around, go up, it's short, and rebounded by Fisher. Fisher to Ensminger. Ensminger quickly up the floor, dishes it off to Ralph. Ralph goes up and doesn't make it. Deeden will rebound it for Mondovi. Clark fires over to Bollinger. Bollinger down underneath and finds Austin Remington in for a right side layup. It's 4-0 Mondovi, 15:20 remaining first half. It's Johnson to Ensminger. And Ensminger took some extra road as he headed toward the basket, and it's turned over to Mondovi. Out of the backcourt, it is Clark. Clark back out to Caden Deeden. Now back inside to Remington. Left side shot goes up by Lindsay. It's blocked and rebounded by Mason Yarrington. Yarrington to Johnson out on the right wing. Give and go to Fisher. Back to Johnson. Left open for a three. Over the top. No good. Right into the hands of Jake Lindsay. Landon Clark loses the ball. Taken away by Blake Johnson. Heads toward the hoop. Layup missed. Rebounded by Fisher. He goes back up. That one hits the rim. Doesn't go. And it's rebounded by Mondovi. Landon Clark. And we will have a foul called on Blake Johnson. That's his first and the Vikings' first of the first half. 14:20 to go, first half. Mondovi 4, Colfax 0. Into the forecourt, passed out of bounds over the head of Austin Remington. Colfax will get it back and give Mark Knoll an opportunity to coach quite closely over there. Elijah Ensminger dribbling on Jake Lindsay. Ensminger takes it to the hoop. Missed, and it last went out of bounds off the Buffaloes as Ralph tried to grab the rebound. 14 minutes left, first half. Mondovi up 4-0 over Colfax. Pass goes high out to Yarrington on the near side. Back to Ensminger in the middle. Ensminger fires it off to Johnson. Johnson back to Ralph, down underneath. His shot too hard, no good, and it's picked up by the Buffaloes. Lindsay will bring it up the floor. Lindsay across the timeline to Bollinger. Bollinger trying to find Deedon underneath, or Remington, I should say, and couldn't get it. So Colfax gets it back on the out of bounds. And we have a timeout on the floor. 13:38 to go. First half. It's Mondovi 4, Colfax nothing. You're watching Colfax Viking Boys Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN 2, and Viking TV.
When you have that craving for a home-cooked meal the way Mom used to make it, rest assured, you can still get that meal by going to Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax. Mom's is open daily, serving breakfast and lunch, and don't forget dinner on Friday nights with Mom's famous fish fry. The coffee is always hot, the breakfast is always delicious, and lunch will put a smile on your face and in your stomach. 225 Bremer Avenue, Colfax. Call 715-962-4617. That's Mom's Restaurant and Pub.
13:38 remains first half. Mondovi Buffaloes 4, Colfax Vikings 0. Jay Fall here with Dan Petshaw. Chris Olson on the camera, executive producer Rick Olson, live from Colfax. Driving in, Orion Nichols pops it up from the lane, missed, and trying to get the rebound is Logan Schwartz. And it goes out of bounds. It'll go to the Buffaloes. One foul apiece here in the first half. Inbounds to Lindsay, back to Denton Lozel now into the game. And Theo Hovde trying to get the ball away from him, stopped his dribble anyway. Back to Lozel. Down in the corner to Deedon. Deedon rolls it into Remington. Remington up from the baseline and is fouled on the way up. And that's going to go against Orion Nichols. That's his first. The Buffaloes, or the Vikings' second foul of the half. On the free throw line is 6'4" senior forward Austin Remington. And his shot hits the front iron and rolls out, no good. 13:08 to go. First half, 4-0. Buffaloes lead the Vikings. Second one is good. Now 5-0 the lead. Inbounds throw from Hovde goes to Elijah Ensminger. Picking him up on defense, Jake Lindsay. Hands the ball off to Hovde up on the left side. Back to Ensminger. Ensminger to Fisher. Fisher out to Nichols. Nichols goes in the lane, fires it out to Ensminger. Ensminger drives along the top, and we are going to have a foul charge to Mondovi's Caden Deedon. That is his first and the team's second. No, actually, that is his second. He's got both the fouls. And he's going to have a seat checking in for the Buffaloes. Peyton Snyder, 5'10", senior guard. Bounce pass into Ensminger, dangerously close to the end line. Manages to save it, though. Ensminger caught, dribbles out of there, goes up, and then the ball short, but Logan Schwartz pops it in for Colfax's first points. 5-2, Vikings trail. 12:22 left. Mondovi with the ball. Snyder driving along the end line, and we're going to have a player control foul on Austin Remington of the Buffaloes. So that's a turnover to the Vikings. That's the Vikings, or the Buffaloes' third foul. The first for Austin Remington. Out of the backcourt, Elijah Ensminger. Ensminger reels a pass back to Nichols, down underneath to Schwartz, and then back out to Aiden Fisher. Ball goes right between his legs and out of bounds. And Mondovi gets it back right in front of the Colfax bench as Mark Knoll makes a shooting motion toward his men. Bryce Bollinger up top, fires it off to the left to Snyder. To Lindsay. Lindsay with a bounce pass down to Lozel, back out on top Bollinger. And Bollinger traveled before he passed it to Austin Remington. Vikings will get it on the side. And inbounds to Ensminger from Hovde. Ensminger drives in, give and go back to Hovde, same to Nichols. Nichols going in the lane, fires out to Ensminger, looks at a three-pointer and makes a move, spins around, missed, and Schwartz trying to get the rebound, but Ensminger does. It's there's a scramble for the ball, and it's going to Mondovi as Theo Hovde ended up in row 2. 11:21 to go in the first half. Mondovi 5, Colfax 2. Back and forth between Jake Lindsay and Denton Lozel. Into the center, it goes to Bollinger. Bollinger hands it off to Remington. Ball gets loose, and Fisher tried to contain it, but ended up going to Lindsay. Now Fisher steals it back, dumps the ball back to Schwartz, and Hovde comes out of it with the ball. Fires to Ensminger. And Aiden Fisher with a 3-ball. And we're tied at 5. 10:45 to go first half. And the ball tipped by Fisher. Then to Hovde, back to Fisher in the corner. That one doesn't go. Schwartz reload. Good. Colfax takes the lead. 7-5. And we have a timeout on the floor. 10:33 to go in the first half. You're watching Colfax Viking Boys Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN2, and Viking TV.
If your estate isn't looking quite estate-like, let Midwest Environmental Consultants landscape your estate right up to snuff with installation of retaining walls, brick patios, foundation planting beds, and so much more. Then they'll keep it that way with their expert lawn care service. Call Midwest Environmental Consultants at 608-468-2067. Let Midwest Environmental Consultants help make your estate the showplace of the neighborhood.
Anderson Bridges, located in Colfax, Wisconsin, has been manufacturing prefabricated steel truss bridges since 1989. With hundreds of bridges supplied nationwide, we suspect you've crossed our path. It may have been on a pedestrian or bicycle bridge, or how about a snowmobile, ATV, or golf course bridge? Anderson Bridges is likely to have manufactured it. Founded in 1989, Anderson Bridges has been a family-owned company since its beginning and are proud to support the Colfax Vikings.
Official very eager to get the game going before the 1-minute timeout ended. Now we're good. Bryce Bollinger out to Caden Deaton. Now to Landon Clark. Clark back out to Lindsay, and ball stolen away by Aiden Fisher all alone. Good for the layup. Colfax up 9-5. Out of the backcourt, Bryce Bollinger, and Bollinger ends up being fouled in there, and that is going to go against Theo Hovde. That's his first and Colfax's third team foul. Each team has 3 fouls here in the first half. 10 minutes and 9 seconds remain in it. Colfax up 9-5. Caden Deeden, and ball stolen away by Yarrington, trying to get it to Ensminger. And we're going to have a foul charged to Mondovi's Bryce Bollinger. That's his first and Mondovi's fourth. So Colfax could be in the bonus on the next will be in the bonus on the next Mondovi foul. Or check that. They've got 3 to go. And we've got a foul now called on Colfax. That's going against Blake Johnson. 4 fouls apiece. That's Blake Johnson's second foul. Colfax applying full court pressure. Pass goes to Lindsay. And it goes across the timeline to Austin Remington. Remington into a wide open Caden Deeden, who puts it in on the right side. And it's 9-7 Colfax. Ensminger with the ball. Up high in the right wing. Ensminger. Back to Fisher. To Ensminger. Ensminger drives in. Up from the baseline. Falls back. Ensminger trying to sell a foul to the official. Out to Deeden. Inside to Remington. Off on the left side baseline to number 20. That's Bryce Bollinger. And we have a technical foul called on the way down. And that foul so Ensminger standing off in front of the Colfax bench. The officials are talking. He got charged with a foul, and I believe that technical was on him. So the Viking boys begin their WIA regional play Tuesday night at Shell Lake, beginning at 7 p.m. The Viking girls tomorrow night at Grantsburg at 7 p.m. Unfortunately, neither of those games will be on the Northern Light Webcasting Network. Okay, so they're pulling everybody off for the free throws, and it is going to be Mondovi's Bryce Bollinger to shoot the free throws. Free throw number 1 is missed. And that second one rolls out as well. So Mondovi will get the ball back. Jake Lindsay's going to throw it in. And it's Landon Clark dribbling it up nice and easy. Bryce Bollinger. Then they fire it underneath to Remington. Remington shot missed. And on the rebound, he puts it up and in as Eli Ralph was trying to get it away from him. And we're tied at 9 at 8:47 to go first half. Ball passed up to Aiden Fisher. Fisher to Hovde. Back to Fisher, free throw line left. He drives in, pops it up from the free throw line, around the rim out. Hovde gets in there, grabs the ball. Fires over to Yarrington. Yarrington, three-pointer, good. From the left free throw extension, 12-9 Vikings. Quickly up the floor, it goes to Deeden. Deeden pops it up from 10. That basket's good. 12-11, Colfax leading by 1, 8:10 to go first half. Hovde at the center jump circle, fires it off to Nichols, down underneath to Fisher. Fisher doubled up, trying to get rid of the ball, rolls it out to Orion Nichols, and we're going to have a foul called on Caden Deeden reaching in.
That's his third.
Yeah, that's a pretty short amount of time to pick up 3 fouls. 7:56 left in the first half. So Nichols is going to throw it in for the Vikings on their end out to Hovde. Hovde drives back to the circle, gives it to Fisher, back and forth now inside to Yarrington. Yarrington's going to dribble outside, go to Hovde, fires it into Fisher, loses the ball, picked up by Remington. Remington driving the right side. He'll bounce pass out to Lindsay. Then outside the arc for 3. Landon Clark misses it, and it's rebounded by Schwartz. And that went out of bounds off Mondovi. So the Vikings will throw it in. 7:29 to go in the first. Colfax 12, Mondovi 11. Across the timeline, off on the right side, Hovde to Fisher. Back to Theo, to Fisher. Yarrington out open on the left side. They feed it in to Nichols. Nichols having trouble with it, and we're going to have a foul charged to Austin Remington, and that is going to be his first, it looks like. No, Landon Clark, sorry. Schwartz and Ralph trading places. Nichols to throw it in. Right side of the free throw lane into Hovde. Back to Ensminger now back in the ball game. Across the court it goes to Yarrington to Ensminger. Looks at a 3 ball, fires it back to Hovde in the middle to Nichols. Nichols goes up, hits the rim, no good. It's rebounded by Bryce Bollinger. Bollinger to Landon Clark out of the backcourt for Mondovi. 6:45 left, first half. Clark from Lozel. Clark with a couple of guys watching him. Out to Lozel. Lozel from the parking lot. 3 for Mondovi. Buffaloes take the lead back, 14-12. 6.5 minutes to go in the first half. Hovde over to Ensminger. Ensminger pops it up on the baseline. That shot missed. Nichols trying to get the rebound, but Bollinger comes up with it to Clark. Clark across the timeline, being guarded by Ensminger. And Yarrington takes a stab at the ball. Out to Clark. Clark up from the free throw line. Good. 16-12 Buffaloes. 5:50 to go first half. Ensminger bounces to Hovde. Fires a very high pass to Yarrington. He drives it in, dribbles it once. And Ensminger is going to take the 3-point shot, and he drains it. Vikings come to within 1. It's 16-15 inside 5.5 minutes to go in the first half. Mondovi with the lead. Clark out to Remington. Remington tries to move, and he moved without dribbling. Turn back over to the Vikings. Join us on NLWN TV on April 1st, unless Mother Nature plays an April Fool's joke on us, as the Colfax Viking baseball team will open their 2024 season at home against the Mondovi Buffaloes. The bullpen show begins at 4:40. Live play-by-play follows. Viking baseball as Elijah Ensminger drains a 3-pointer from the top of the key. April 1st, weather permitting, on NLWN TV. At 5 minutes to go in the first half, Vikings have the lead back 18-16. Denton Lozel down in the corner to Remington. Back to Lozel. They're playing catch with it on the left side. Ball tapped. It's going back to the Buffaloes in the corner. Lozel ready to toss it in for the Buffs. Goes out on top. Ball gets loose. Picking it up is Ensminger. Ensminger to Hovde. Hovde with a layup. And the Vikings stretch their lead to 20-16. 4:35 to go first half. Vikings by 4. Pass down in the corner to Lozel. Stolen away by Ensminger. and he stepped on the sideline. Ball's going to be thrown in right in front of the Colfax bench. Jake Lindsay will do the honors. Lindsay into the backcourt to Landon Clark. Clark brings it across the timeline to Bollinger, to Remington from the free throw line. Shot missed, and Aiden Fisher comes up with the rebound for Colfax. He'll get it to Elijah Ensminger. Ensminger quickly up the floor to Hovde down in the near corner. Outside to Fisher, and can't bring the ball in. Lindsay goes in for a layup on the right side. Fisher stepped in front of him for the foul. Exactly 4 minutes left in the first half. That is Aiden Fisher's first foul, and that will put Jake Lindsay on the free throw line. Each team has 6 fouls. Next foul will put the other team in the bonus. That free throw missed. And Lindsay to fire off the second one. That one missed as well, and it's rebounded by Ralph to Ensminger down the left sideline. Ensminger back from Fisher. 3! 23-16. Colfax, that's 9 points for Ensminger.
Yeah, 5 threes in the first half.
And going up for the shot for the Buffaloes, Bryce Bollinger. And he's fouled on the way up. That's going to go against Logan Schwartz. That's his first foul. And it was in the act of shooting, so he's going to get 2. First one missed. Last regular season and Dunn St. Croix Conference game for both of these teams. And our last Viking basketball broadcast of 23-24. Second free throw goes in. It's 23-17 Vikings. 3.5 minutes left in the first half. Ensminger driving. His three-point attempt deflected, but then we're going to have a foul whistled on Logan Schwartz. No, I guess, yes, his second. And we're going to go to the other end to shoot 1+1. Join us on NLWN 2 on Saturday, April 6th. We're excited to bring you the first game ever of the Chippewa Valley Phoenix semi-pro football team. The Phoenix will open the 2024 season by taking on the Wilmer Mud Dogs in Wilmer, Minnesota. The pregame show, Phoenix Rising, will begin at 1:30 p.m. with live play-by-play to follow. Chippewa Valley Phoenix football starting April 6th here on NLWN 2. And that free throw missed as well, or missed. And up the floor, it goes to Nichols. Nichols to Fisher. Fisher trying to get it into Schwartz. Scoop pass out to Yarrington from the corner over the top. Rebounded by Clark for Mondovi. Down to the left side, it's pass back in the middle to Clark. Clark fires inside to Remington. Remington's shot doesn't go. Tapped out to Ensminger. Ensminger trying to guard the ball, and that's going to go off of him out of bounds. Back to the Buffaloes. 2:50 remaining. First half. Colfax Vikings 23, Mondovi Buffaloes 17. Inbounds throw to Clark. Up the floor to Remington. And Schwartz Ralph is going to get charged for a foul there. He didn't get set quick enough. That's his first, and that's the 9th foul. But that wasn't the act of shooting, so Austin Remington's going to shoot a pair. And it looks like we have a lane violation. Looked like Bryce Bollinger was in the lane. That's who they pointed to. Players asking for lots of explanations tonight. Second one missed. Ralph rebounds, fires it to Fisher. Fisher drives hard up the floor, puts it up, won't go. Rebounded by the Buffs, Remington. Remington back to Clark. Clark, corner to Bollinger. Loses the ball. It goes right to Aiden Fisher. And down the floor it goes to Yarrington. Yarrington goes up and is fouled. And Bryce Bollinger is wondering about the foul. And Coach Bremer is trying to calm him down. On the free throw line, Mason Yarrington for 1+1. That's Remington's second foul. Nope, I guess that's for 2. First free throw missed. Our Viking profile tonight is sophomore Charlie Charbonneau. Yarrington's second free throw is good, 4 points for him. Landon Clark stops, then fires a pass over to Jake Lindsay. Down in the corner to Lozel, back out on top to Clark. Clark, corner of the lane, sends the ball up toward the hoop. And they're going to have to rebound it and send it out again. Lozel up from 15, that catches the back iron. Jake Lindsay tries to go up, and it's blocked by the Vikings. Yarrington to Fisher. Fisher to Ralph, misses the shot. And trying to save it, and does, is Fisher to Yarrington. Wide open to Nichols, hits the iron, no good. And it is rebounded by Landon Clark. We have a minute and a half to go in the first half. Clark driving in, puts it up, that one missed. Shoots it back up the floor to Ensminger, layup good. And Colfax wants a timeout. 1:22 to go, first half. You're watching Colfax Viking Boys Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN2, and Viking TV.
NLWN TV and the Northern Light Webcasting Network are excited to take you out to the ballpark for Colfax Viking Baseball. Our next game will be on Monday, April 1st, when the Vikings host the Mondovi Buffaloes, weather permitting. Our coverage begins with the bullpen show, where we'll warm you up for baseball action starting at 4:40 p.m. That's Colfax High School Baseball on Monday, April 1st.
Welcome back. Join us on NLWN TV on April 1st as the Colfax Viking baseball team opens their 2024 season at home against the Mondovi Buffaloes. The bullpen show begins at 4:40 with live play-by-play to follow. That's Viking baseball against Mondovi here in Colfax, April 1st. Weather permitting on NLWN TV. Mondovi bringing the ball out from under the Colfax basket. High pass goes to Clark. Clark driving left to right, gives it to Lozel. Lozel across the way, goes to Peyton Snyder. Down into the corner to Jake Lindsay. Lindsay doubled up, and we're going to have a foul charge to Aiden Fisher. And that's Colfax's 10th foul, so it's going to be two throws, yep. Official on the far side corrected it, as his two counterparts. Looked at the scoreboard. First free throw is good. Colfax girls start regional play tomorrow night at Grantsburg at 7. Unfortunately, that game will not be carried on the Northern Light Webcasting Network or NLWN TV. Second free throw good as well. 26-19. Colfax leading Mondovi. 50 seconds remaining, first half. Ensminger up high on the left side. Gonna wait for his team to set up. Driving in, goes to Yarrington. Give and go to Ensminger. Ensminger looks at a three-pointer. And is going to wait for one good shot for somebody. Yarrington for three. Catches the front iron. Ralph back up. That one missed. They put it back toward the hoop, and it's rebounded by Lindsay as it doesn't fall. Landon Clark, three-pointer for Mondovi. Ensminger to bring it up the floor. Ensminger drives the right side, puts it up, and that's the end of the first half. The Colfax Vikings lead the Mondovi Buffaloes after one, 26-22. Stay tuned now for Viking halftime. Our profile player tonight, Charlie Charbonneau. You're watching Colfax Viking Boys Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN 2.
The Phoenix are rising. NLWN2 and the Northern Light Webcasting Network are excited to be your home for Chippewa Valley Phoenix semi-pro football. Our first game will be on April 6th when the Phoenix travel to Wilmer, Minnesota to face the Wilmer Mud Dogs. Follow the Phoenix as they battle their way through the Northern Lights Football League on the Northern Light Webcasting Network audio service and NLWN2. That's exciting Chippewa Valley Phoenix football beginning on April 6th.
Time now for Viking Halftime, with today's Viking profile and other halftime entertainment. That's coming up right after this.
Hey, boss. Okay?
I said I'm fine.
Me the bed, see you in the morning. With the frosted Superman, but it wasn't on it. And we lost it.
You can talk to me.
It's been really, really hard for me.
Time now for Viking Profile, where we take a closer look at one of the Colfax Viking players. And now, Viking Profile.
Today on Viking Profile, we're going to get to know Charlie Charbonneau, who's a sophomore here at Colfax High School. And Charlie, we know you play basketball, but are you involved in any other activities here at school?
I also do cross country and track.
Okay, and how'd the cross country season go for you?
Second team all conference. So.
Hey, can't complain about that.
Nope, I can't.
All right. When did you start playing basketball, and what kind of an experience has that been for you?
I started about third grade, and it's been tough going up without a lot of numbers, but we're getting better, and I'm on varsity now. So.
Hey, there you go. What's the most important thing that you've learned playing basketball?
Probably learned to be part of the team. Everybody's in it. Give it your all, really.
Okay, so when you're not playing basketball or you're not here at school, what are some other things that keep you interested or occupied?
Probably hunting. I like to go out, bow season for sure.
Get outside in the woods and just enjoy what's out there, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I've got a couple rapid fire questions for you here. Pie, ice cream, cake, or cookies?
Ice cream.
Which kind?
Just vanilla.
Vanilla, because you can do anything with vanilla.
Exactly.
All right. Hot dog, burger, or brats?
Burger.
Burger. Okay, what do you want on that burger?
Just some bacon and cheese. Keep it simple.
Okay. All right. Favorite color?
Blue.
Any reason for that?
I just like it.
That's as good a reason as any. If you could have a superpower, what do you think that might be?
Probably flying.
Flying, okay. Keeps you out of traffic, gets you places quicker.
Yeah, those birds seem to be having fun, so.
Okay, might as well join them, right?
Yeah.
If there's a party somewhere, you're going to go join it. If you have the ability to fly, of course you have to have a superhero name to go with that. So what's Charlie's superhero name?
Maybe I'll have to go with Little C.
Little C, okay. Yeah. All right. Your favorite NBA team?
Bucks.
Okay, how about a collegiate team?
Probably Badgers.
All right. Now, is there a basketball player who's influenced the way you play your game, whether it be pro or college or high school or whatever?
Not specifically. I take everything from as many players as I can find, really.
Okay. All right. We're talking with Charlie Charbonneau today on Viking Profile. And Charlie, I know you're only a sophomore, but what are your plans for after high school?
Probably probably get a 4-year in engineering of some sort, probably.
Okay, do you have any clue as to where that'll be yet?
Nope.
Okay, no dream schools or anything?
Not really.
Okay. How about a shout out to the family?
Shout out to my dad, my mom, and Ben, my brother.
There you go. And when people come to watch Viking games, where are they going to find you on the floor?
Hopefully on the floor, but maybe on the bench.
Okay, just look for you over there, right?
Okay. Check the bench first.
All right. We want to thank Charlie Charbonneau for joining us today on Viking Profile. Coming up next, more Viking Halftime.
You've been listening to Viking Profile. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
Eva Marie smoked 12,000 packs of cigarettes over 15 years. She quit, and now there's a new lung cancer screening that could save her life. You stopped smoking. Now start screening. No matter how much you smoked, early detection could save you. Talk to your doctor or learn more at savedbythescan.org.
When I was 10, my mom got deported. We had a difficult time, and I feel that's why I didn't get to finish school. My husband is really supportive in a way that he pushed me to go back to school.
She wants to have a career so her kids can look up to her.
They both keep me motivated to go to school, and they see that if I do it, like they can do it too, you know? I feel that everything's possible.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
You've been tuned to Viking Halftime. Stay tuned. Coming up is second half action of today's game on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN 2.
What are you doing in there?
What's that?
I wouldn't do that. What are you doing? What are you looking for?
Welcome back to Colfax, and it's halftime. The Vikings lead Mondovi 26-22. As part of the halftime warm-up, Mason Yarrington has been over in the far corner shooting threes for the crowd, and he made about 5 of them in the row. And then Orion Nichols joined him over there, as is Blake Johnson. He came over on the other side here. Theo Hubdy's going to take a shot at one now. Ooh, that one rolls out. Fun at halftime, senior night at Colfax. The score 26-22. Dan, let's take a look at the scoring.
Here's scores right now for the Buffaloes. They have Jake Lindsay with 2. We have Denton Laser with 3. We have Landon Kirk with 5. Austin Remington has 7. And Caden Deeden has 4. For the Vikings, they're led right now by number 10, Elijah Ensminger. He has 11 points. Theo Hovde has 2. Aiden Fisher has 5. Mason Arrington has 4. And Logan Schwartz has 4. 26-22 Colfax.
So the Viking boys start regional play Tuesday night at Shell Lake beginning at 7. The Viking ladies begin regional play tomorrow night at Grantsburg. That also begins at 7. Unfortunately, neither of those games will be carried on the Northern Light Webcasting Network. We do invite you to join us on NLW2 on Saturday, April 6th, as we're excited to bring you the first game ever for the Chippewa Valley Phoenix semi-pro football team. The Phoenix will open the 2024 season by taking on the Wilmer Mud Dogs in Wilmer, Minnesota. The pregame show, Phoenix Rising, will begin at 1:30 with live play-by-play to follow. That's Chippewa Valley Phoenix football, April 6th in Wilmer on NLWN 2. So ready to start the second half. Blake Johnson gets the ball. He'll toss it into Elijah Ensminger. And we are underway. Colfax leading by 4. Gives it to Yarrington. Yarrington, three-point shot, good! So he had a purpose during that warm-up. Buffaloes, Landon Clark with the ball, doubled up on. Pass goes to Lindsay. Then over to Remington. Remington being guarded by Ralph. Remington up from the baseline and going to have a foul called on Eli Ralph. That's his second. Colfax 29, Mondovi 22, 17:32 left in the game. Into Remington, and he pounds it in on the left side. Closes the Colfax lead up a little bit. Vikings lead by 5. Ensminger with the ball. Crosses the 10-second line out to Yarrington. And we're going to have a foul charged to Mondovi's Landon Clark. Johnson gives the ball back when he hears the horn. Mondovi is sending in Denton Lozel. Blake Johnson out on top to Mason Yarrington. Yarrington to Johnson at the free throw line. Out to Fisher. Back to Johnson. Johnson, top of the key for 3. 29-24 Colfax. 32-24 Colfax. And ball turned over to the Vikings. Fisher and Ensminger to do the honors in front of the Mondovi bench. Colfax up by 8. We're inside 17 minutes to go in the game. Give and go to Yarrington. Yarrington back out to Ensminger. To Ralph. Ralph to Ensminger. Ensminger up from the corner of the lane. Rolls off, no good. That was last touched by Ralph. Mondovi will get it back. Lindsay into Lozel. Back to Lindsay down on the near side to Bollinger. Full court pressure being applied to the Buffaloes. Then to Snyder. Then back to Remington over to Lozel. And then to Snyder at the center jump circle. He fires it into Remington. Outside the arch, puts up the 3-ball, rolls out, rebounded by Mr. 3-ball of Colfax, Mason Yarrington. And Johnson trying to get the ball down to Fisher in the opposite corner. That's knocked out of bounds by the Buffaloes. So Johnson will come in at the GN Vikings on the right side of the Colfax basket to throw it in. Approaching 16 minutes remaining. Out to Ralph. Ralph driving in. Ball's knocked out of bounds by Remington. And we have a timeout on the floor called by Colfax. Exactly 16 minutes left. Second half. You're watching Colfax Viking Boys Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN2, and Viking TV.
C&K Construction is your source for high-quality concrete and construction work in the Chippewa Valley. Established in 2014, C&K Construction in Chippewa Falls is a leading concrete contractor proud to serve Eau Claire, Altoona, Menominee, and surrounding areas. Specializing in concrete construction, excavating, flatwork poured walls, and much more, they're right for all of your concrete needs. Call C&K Construction in Chippewa Falls at 715-559-1335.
Back at Colfax, Aiden Fisher's going to toss this one in this time out to Blake Johnson. Corner of the lane into Yarrington, back to Johnson. Ensminger gets a give and go out on the right wing. Top of the key into Fisher. Fisher to Yarrington. To Johnson. In the corner to Yarrington. Yarrington's going to take it out on top. Direct traffic go in, out to Johnson on the give and go. Johnson, free throw line right. Down in the corner to Ensminger. For three. Bangs around. Ralph up and in on the rebound for two. Colfax leads 10 points, 34-24 over Mondovi. Ball gets loose again, and Yarrington saves it, but it goes back to Mondovi, and then Mondovi knocks it out of bounds. So Blake Johnson right at the half-court line, back to Elijah Ensminger to start it up again for Colfax. To Yarrington, Fisher, Johnson. Back out to Ralph, top of the key. Ralph fires to Ensminger, three-point attempt. Tickles the net, that's about it. Goes to Landon Clark. Clark across the center circle out to Remington. Near the free throw line left, and he will go in, score the basket, and is fouled on the way in by Eli Ralph. That is Ralph's third foul of the night, second foul for Colfax in the second half. 14:37 remains. Second half, it's 34-26. Remington gets one free throw. And that is no good, rebounded by Yarrington. Yarrington dishes to Fisher on the near side. Out to Johnson, free throw line extended left. Back out to Fisher. Back to Johnson, over to Ensminger. Far side this time. Drives in, up from 8, off the glass, good. Colfax back to a 10-point lead, 36-26 over Mondovi. 14 minutes left in the ball game. Remington up the floor goes to Keegan Catt, misses the shot. Now Aiden Fisher's coming up with it for Colfax. Bounces it off the foot of one of the Buffaloes, and Jake Lindsay up the floor. Lindsay goes up and in. Remington, he is fouled on the way up by Elijah Ensminger. So that's Elijah's second foul, and that's going to put Lindsay on the line for one. Shot short. Rebound goes right to Schwartz. To Ensminger. Ensminger in the middle to Fisher. To Blake Johnson, out to Mason Yarrington, swishes in a three-pointer. 39-28, an 11-point lead. Ball goes to Remington for Mondovi, and we're going to have a foul called on Logan Schwartz. So that's going to be 2 free throws for Austin Remington. Join us on NLWN TV on April 1st, unless Mother Nature plays an April Fool's joke on us, as the Colfax Viking baseball team will open their 2024 season at home against the Mondovi Buffaloes. The bullpen show begins at 4:40 with live play-by-play to follow. And the free throws, good. Viking baseball, April 1st, weather permitting, on NLWN TV. 39-29, back to a 10-point lead for Colfax. And Fisher trying to get rid of the ball, rolls off of Buffalo and into the hands of Denton Lozel. Landon Clark stops in the corner of the lane, out to Remington. Back to Lozel, down on the other side to Jake Lindsay. To Remington, takes a leap, takes a shot, missed. Rebounded by Ensminger. And he is fouled by Jake Lindsay. It's Lindsay's first foul of the night, second team foul of the second half for Mondovi. Johnson trying to get it to Fisher and was turned the other way. Ball went right out of bounds. And a timeout called by Colfax. 12:44 left in the second half. Colfax 39, Mondovi 29. You're watching Colfax Viking Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN2, and Viking TV.
Are your pooch's proportions putting on pounds? Or is your kitty's constitution constantly complaining?
Well, stop by and see the friendly folks at the Colfax Animal Hospital. Doctors Austin and Nikki Pritchard and their staff will be happy to help you get your family friend back on the road to healthy living. That's the Colfax Animal Hospital. Call them at 715-962-3380.
Give yourself a little love this Valentine's Day. Open a health savings account or HSA to save tax-free dollars for out-of-pocket medical costs. Eyeglasses, braces, and acupuncture are just a few items allowed by the IRS. Dairy State Bank HSAs are serviced locally and work like a regular checking account. Pay by check or with a debit card and access your account through online or mobile banking. Give us a call to learn more. Dairy State Bank. Banking on relationships. Member FDIC.
Landon Clark to throw it in for Mondovi to Lozel. Back down in the opposite corner to Clark. Clark driving in on Johnson, trying to get it into Remington. Ball gets loose and it goes off Remington. .12:34 to go, second half. Johnson into Ensminger. Ensminger caught deep under the Colfax basket, bringing it out now. Jake Lindsay guarding him. Ensminger drives the right side of the lane, flips it out to Yarrington. To Johnson, top of the key. Johnson drives the right side this time. As he goes up, he is fouled. That one's going to be charged to Deegan Kennitzer. He's a 5'9" freshman guard. Johnson, first shot, around the top and out. Join us on NLW2 on Saturday, April 6th, as we're excited to bring you the first game ever for the Chippewa Valley Phoenix semi-pro football team. Phoenix opens the 2024 season by taking on the Wilmer, Minnesota Mud Dogs. There in Wilmer. Second free throw is good. Pre-game show, Phoenix Rising, starts at 1:30. Live play-by-play follows. Chippewa Valley Phoenix football starting April 6th. And throughout the summer on NLWN2. In the backcourt, Landon Clark. Clark to Jake Lindsay. Ball stolen away. Theo Hovde comes up with it. Hovde to Ensminger. Ensminger near the 10-second line, out to Theo Hovde. Looked at a quick three, over to Mason Yarrington, and he's going to take the three and make it! 43-31 Colfax. Full timeout on the floor. 11:39 to go in the game. You're watching Colfax Viking Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN2, and Viking TV.
Let Menominee Eye and Optical help you see the world for the beautiful place it is. Doctors Nicholas and Marianne Comro provide both comprehensive and emergency eye care for all, including pediatric and special needs patients. Whether it's examination for glasses to cataract and LASIK care, or diagnosis and management of macular degeneration, diabetic retinopathy, glaucoma, and so much more. In addition, Menominee Eye and Optical's experienced opticians will help guide you to the highest quality eye care for the best value. That's Menominee Eye and Optical, located at 520 Wilson Avenue in Menominee, where they specialize in quality, personalized care for you and your family.
To get your lawn or garden to perform at attracting what you want, you first need to know what your soil is working with. That's where Midwest Environmental Consultants can help. Their soil testing service can give you a complete rundown on your soil's nutrition and health. They test for nitrogen levels, phosphorus, potash, micronutrients, minerals, pH, and organic matter. Let Midwest Environmental Consultants put you in control of your soil's health. Call Midwest Environmental Consultants at 608-468-2067. That's Midwest Environmental Consultants, serving western Wisconsin.
Mondovi bringing the ball out of the back. Landon Clark fires the ball up the floor to Jake Lindsay, or Lindsay gets it for a three-pointer, and it's good. 43-34, Colfax still leading. Theo Hovde with the ball. Dribbles around on the right side, hands it off to Elijah Ensminger. Ensminger down the left side of the lane, back to Yarrington. Yarrington alley-oops it to Hovde, far corner, then to Schwartz. Schwartz off the window, too hard, rebounded by Mondovi's Denton Lozel. And Landon Clark brings it up the floor, fires it to Austin Remington. Remington makes a move, dishes it off in the corner to Bollinger. Bollinger traveled. Few steps there before he shot it. Orion Nichols to throw it in for Colfax. 10:49 left second half. Into Hovde, back to Nichols. Nichols back to Hovde. Quickly up the floor to Yarrington. Yarrington looking to get rid of it, dishes it off to Nichols. Nichols inside to Schwartz. He's too far under. Ball goes off of him. So Mondovi will bring it back to the other end. No, they're giving it to Colfax. Went off Mondovi. Pass goes high out to Ensminger. 10.5 minutes left in the game. Ensminger to Yarrington, top of the key for three, rolls off. Back to Ensminger. He's going to pop it up from the corner. That one goes in for two. Landon Clark driving on Theo Hovde. Hovde's going to be called for a foul. And we called for a reach-in. 10:09 left second half. That's Theo's second foul. 2 and 2 on the scoreboard. He also has 2 points. Bollinger into Clark. And it's picked off by Nichols for Colfax. And then stealing it back is Clark up the floor to Remington. Tries a stuff on the reload. Clark puts it in. Ensminger being guarded by Clark. Ensminger fires to Hovde. Hovde loses the ball out of bounds. Mondovi will take it back. 9:39 left. Colfax by 9 over Mondovi. Across the timeline, Bollinger to Clark. Hovde tips it, steals it, gets it out in front of Ensminger, and we're going to have a foul.
We got
or a violation. Let's see.
Double dribble.
Double dribble, all right. Theo Hovde was shaking his head. He was going up the floor there. Lindsay. Into Deedon. To Bollinger. Caught in the corner. Gives it to Caden Deedon. Goes up and is fouled That one's going to be called on Logan Schwartz. That's his 4th foul of the night, and that is Colfax's 6th foul as a team. Caden Deaden's going on the free throw line for the Buffaloes. Jay Fall, Dan Petshaw, Chris Olson on the camera, and executive producer Rick Olson here from Colfax. First free throw missed. Our final Colfax basketball presentation of 23-24. Baseball starting April 1st if the weather permits it. Second one goes in. Across the timeline, that's Ensminger. Ensminger doubled up on, gets it to Hovde. He's converged on, back to Ensminger. Mondovi swarming, trying to keep Colfax out of a good shot. Out to Orion Nichols, back out to Ensminger. And it's going back to Mondovi. Into Landon Clark, back to Jake Lindsay. Clark goes inside to Deaden, and Deaden is fouled by Theo Hovde. That is Theo's 3rd foul. Caden Deaden's a 5'11 junior for the Buffaloes. That is the 7th foul, so now for the rest of the game, the Buffaloes will be in the bonus. That shot missed and a scuffle for the ball. It's going to Mondovi. Into Remington. Remington misses the shot, and it ends up in the hands of Mason Yarrington for Colfax. He gives it to Elijah Ensminger to bring it out of the backcourt. Ensminger into Fisher. Back to Ensminger for 3. Catches the front iron. Nichols comes up with it. We are going to have a jump ball, and the possession arrow is pointing to Mondovi. 8:26 to go, second half. Colfax Vikings 45, Mondovi Buffaloes 37. Remington with a pass deep into the far corner, right out of bounds. Colfax gets it back. Fisher to throw it in, Nichols to Fisher, back to Ensminger. Ensminger, Fisher bounces it back to Yarrington for 3. Catches the back iron, no good. Rebounded by Clark. Clark off on the right side, passing to Lindsay. He shoots a 25-footer. That one doesn't go. Fisher bringing it up the floor for Colfax. Fisher gets it to Nichols. Nichols up from the free throw line. No good. Rebounded by Remington for Mondovi as Lindsay falls down at his feet. 7:35 left. Second half. Mondovi. Lindsay to Hayden Reichel. No, that's Clark. Down on the baseline to Remington. Remington out at the top of the key to Bollinger. Shot missed. Rebounded by Elijah Ensminger. Ensminger down the floor to Yarrington. Bounces around. 3-point doesn't go, but Ralph trying to put it back up. Knocked down by Mondovi. 7 minutes to go. Second half. Colfax 45, Mondovi 37. Buffaloes, they're driving in with the ball. It's Landon Clark, and he's fouled on the way in. That's going against Mason Yarrington, and it's going to be a 1+1 for Landon Clark. Clark, first free throw, no good. The official underneath the basket signaled 2 for shooting foul, so Clark will get another crack at it. That one he makes. 45-38. Colfax leading Mondovi. Johnson to Ensminger. Ensminger to Johnson. Back and forth between them. Ensminger with it now. Over to Johnson. Back to Ensminger. Going to look at a three. Bounces it over to Johnson. To Aiden Fisher for three. Colfax back up by 10, 48-38. Landon Clark's caught at the jump circle. They get the pass inside to Caden Deedon. He had that ball teetering on the rim and it fell in. Ensminger to Yarrington. Back to Ensminger. Ensminger trying to go inside with it. There's a foul away from the ball. 6:01 remains, second half. Colfax by 8. That foul charge to Landon Clark. That is his fourth. Inbounds to Fisher. Fisher off the glass for 2. Colfax back up by 10, 50-40. Clark up the floor to Deedon, and Deedon puts in the bucket. Ensminger and Johnson out of the backcourt. Mondovi sticking with the man-to-man. Ball gets loose. It was last touched by the Buffaloes. Blake Johnson's going to throw it in right down in front of us. Out to Ensminger. Ensminger, baseball pass to Yarrington near the mid-stripe. Back to Johnson. Johnson fires into Fisher. Fisher waits, puts it up, and they will not count the basket. He traveled. 5:26 left, second half. Colfax 50, Mondovi 42. Clark to Lindsay, free throw line right. Feeds it into Remington. Remington stops, goes outside to Bollinger for 3. Front iron, no good. Rebounded by Clark. Clark puts it up, no good. Trying to go up. Deedon, he misses. And it is finally put in. That is Austin Remington. He has 16 points so far. 5:01 left in the game. Colfax by 6. Ensminger into the backcourt, goes back to Johnson. Johnson across the timeline. Colfax picks up the pace. To Fisher, halfway down on the left side, into Ensminger. Ensminger goes up and puts it in. He's fouled on the way in. That foul is going to be charged to 42, Caden Deedon. That is his fourth foul of the game. Elijah Ensminger on the free throw line for 1 and makes it. Colfax back up by 9, 53-44 over Mondovi. Lindsay to Remington. Fires it underneath to Landon Clark. Clark goes up, nice block by Aiden Fisher. And out to Elijah Ensminger, around the rim and down on the assist from Blake Johnson. Nice series there, 20 points for Elijah Ensminger. Going up, Clark trying to go up, I should say, over out to Bollinger. Bollinger, free throw line right. Get it around on the other side to Clark. Clark into Deedon. Deedon goes up, fouled on the way in. 33, that is Eli Ralph. And that's his fourth foul of the night. On the free throw line, Caden Deedon for the Buffaloes. Makes the first. That is Colfax's 9th foul of the half. So the next Colfax foul is going to send the Buffaloes into double bonus. 4:08 left, second half, 55-45 Colfax. That one missed, but Remington on the putback makes it 55-47. Coming up on 4 minutes left in the game. Johnson out to Fisher, another 3. 58-47. Colfax by 11, 13 points for Aiden Fisher. Out on the far side, out to Lindsay. Clark going up, off the glass, doesn't go, rebounded by Ensminger. Ensminger going to take it himself, layup is good. 60-47 Colfax. Mondovi wants a timeout. 3:29 left second half. You're watching Colfax Viking Boys Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN 2, and Viking TV.
NLWN TV and the Northern Light Webcasting Network are excited to take you out to the ballpark for Colfax Viking Baseball. Our next game will be on Monday, April 1st, when the Vikings host the Mondovi Buffaloes, weather permitting. Our coverage begins with the bullpen show where we'll warm you up for baseball action starting at 4:40 p.m. That's Colfax High School Baseball on Monday, April 1st.
It's right around the corner after spring, or it seemed like spring today. Baseball coming your way on the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
Time to get the boat out.
Yeah, you could do that too. I
never put it away.
Oh. All right, well, that'll save you a little work. Lindsay out in the corner, pops it up from the lane, missed, and Ensminger grabs it and takes it away. Ensminger trying to get it up the floor. That is blocked, and they get it back to Jake Lindsay. And Lindsay puts it in for Mondovi, and another foul is going to be charged to Elijah Ensminger. That is his third. So Jake Lindsay going to try to finish off a three-point play here, and it is missed, but Remington comes up with it, and Remington double-dribbled it. 60-49, Colfax out in front of Mondovi, 3:05 remaining in the boys' 23-24 regular season. Blake Johnson across the timeline, gets it to Aiden Fisher. Fisher for another three-pointer. Oh, that one in and out. And Schwartz trying to get it. He loses it out of bounds. Mondovi will get it back. Inbounds throw goes to Clark. Clark across the timeline to Bollinger. Bollinger back to Clark. Clark looking for a three-pointer. Ball deflected. It ends up over to Lindsay. He misses it. Caden Deeden trying to get the rebound, and Elijah Ensminger comes up with it for Colfax. To Blake Johnson. Johnson up for three. Makes it 63-49. Colfax. 2:15 left in the game. Landon Clark up on top to Lindsay. Lindsay to Deeden. Deeden up top of the key. Gets the ball to Bollinger. Falls on the floor. He gets it back to Deeden. And Deeden puts it up and in from the free throw line. 1:50 remaining in tonight's contest. And we'll have a foul on Bryce Bollinger against Blake Johnson. That is the sixth foul. It's going to the side. And we have a line change for Mondovi. .148 left. Colfax 63, Mondovi 51. Out to Elijah Ensminger. Ensminger dribbles across the timeline out to Johnson. Johnson to Yerington. Yerington drains another three-pointer. 66-51 Colfax. Timeout on the floor, 1:35 left. You're watching Colfax Viking Boys Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN 2, and Viking TV.
The Phoenix are rising. NLWN2 and the Northern Light Webcasting Network are excited to be your home for Chippewa Valley Phoenix semi-pro football. Our first game will be on April 6th when the Phoenix travel to Wilmer, Minnesota to face the Wilmer Mud Dogs. Follow the Phoenix as they battle their way through the Northern Lights Football League on the Northern Light Webcasting Network audio service and NLWN2. That's exciting Chippewa Valley Phoenix football beginning on April 6th.
Soon the weather will change and you'll be able to breathe in the clean fresh air of spring. And you know what comes right along with that. That's right, it will be time for Eau Claire Cavalier baseball. Follow the Cavaliers all season long right here on the Northern Light Webcasting Network audio service and NLWN TV. Be sure to check out our website at www.northernlightwebcastingnetwork.com for our current broadcast schedule.
All the seniors have been seated for Colfax. Driving in for Mondovi was Keegan Catt. And he's called for a player control foul. So throwing it in now is Nate Edwards for the Vikings. Colfax 66, Mondovi 51. We'll try to get you caught up with the numbers here. Grant Palowitz gets it. Palowitz fires it up the floor to Trey Larson down underneath to number 30. He goes up. That's, I'm not sure who that is. Down along the left side, Evan Bauer. Bauer puts it up, and it is rebounded by Charlie Charbonneau. Charbonneau brings it up, fires it down underneath, and a basket by Nate Edwards. And the Vikings take a timeout. 1:02 left in the 23-24 season. Colfax 68. Mondovi 51, you're watching Colfax Viking Boys Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLW2, and Viking TV.
Man, it's lonely. Like, going through life lonely.
There is the therapeutic aspect of music, just expressing how you feel. I'm going to talk to Howie about his feelings, make it into a song.
We're checking the program, and we don't have a name for number 40, so that is how he's going to be named for now. Mason Brenner in for Mondovi to Deegan Konitzer. Konitzer. Shovel pass over to Keegan Catt. Back to Konitzer. Stops up high on the left side, into Mason Brenner. Brenner goes up, and he's fouled on the way up by Charlie Charbonneau. Levi Elwood.
Yeah, he's number 40 for Colfax.
And the free throw missed by Brenner. 42.9 seconds left in the 23-24 Colfax Viking Boys season, regular season. Second one is good, and Mondovi trails Colfax now by 16. 40 seconds remaining. Charlie Charbonneau bringing it up. Gets it over to Trey Larson. Larson, layup, missed, rebounded by Mason Brenner. Brenner out to Keegan Catt. Down on the floor to Konitzer. He puts up a shot, missed. Going up with it was Hayden Reichel, and he's fouled on the way up with exactly 22 seconds left in the game. So Hayden Reichel's going to the free throw line for 2. That's the first foul on Hunter Roberts. First free throw, missed. They'll be recognizing the 4 seniors from Colfax after the game, so we're going to try to time our post-game show, so we'll bring you that as well as the stuff we normally do. Rebounded by the Vikings. And now that's Charlie Charbonneau. 3-point attempt missed. And it's rebounded by Kevin Dominguez-Guerrero. And stolen back by Colfax's Charbonneau. Charbonneau fires out on the left side to Trey Larson. Hits the rim for a 3. That's the end of the game. on the putback after the buzzer it goes in, but that doesn't count. Colfax with a 68-52 win over the Mondovi Buffaloes. Stay tuned for Viking postgame. It's coming your way in next on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN2, and Viking TV.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver, and we dedicate a lot of our time to going as fast as possible. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently, experiencing problems with their memory, or having trouble with routine tasks. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services, make a plan for the future, and access available treatments. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together.
You have been tuned to Colfax Viking Boys Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2. This copyrighted production of the Northern Light Webcasting Network and Colfax High School is intended for the enjoyment of the viewing and listening audience. Any broadcast, rebroadcast, or reproduction in part or in whole in any form without the express written consent of the Northern Light Webcasting Network LLC and Colfax High School is prohibited. Stay tuned. Coming up next is Viking Postgame with a look back at today's game.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
He makes fun of his friend who vapes.
He would never try it.
She's into soccer.
She's on the honor roll.
She's just not the type.
No way.
No way.
No way.
No way, my kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping. Maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
Time now for Viking postgame, a wrap-up of today's Colfax Viking Boys game. And now, Viking postgame.
Welcome back to Colfax. The Colfax Vikings end the regular season with a 6-8 record. They are 9-15 overall. The Mondovi Buffaloes are 1-3 in the Dun St. Croix, and they end their regular season at 2-22. Viking boys will start regional play Tuesday night at Shell Lake. That game gets underway up there at 7. Unfortunately, this game will not be carried on NLWN 2. The Lady Vikings will begin their regional play tomorrow night at Grantsburg beginning at 7, and unfortunately that game will not be carried on NLWN TV. So we're awaiting the senior presentation here as the coaches are coming to the center, and we will go to the sidelines.
On the basketball team who are our senior athletes. They will receive awards in recognition of their hard work, dedication, and outstanding contributions to Colfax High School basketball. Presenting the awards on behalf of the Boys Viking Club are Coach Mark Knoll, Coach Tristan Kielsen, and Coach Nick Height. As the coaching staff reflects on the past 4 years with you, we are filled with immense gratitude and admiration for the dedication and commitment each of you has brought to the Colfax basketball program. It has been an absolute joy to witness your growth and development as players and individuals. Your work ethic is truly commendable, and it's a testament to the character of each one of you. Throughout your high school careers, you have demonstrated unwavering commitment to our program, consistently going above and beyond what was asked of you. As coaches, we would lean on any of you when needed, and your reliability and team-first mentality have been invaluable to the team's success. Coaching you has been a rewarding experience, watching you not only excel on the court, but mature into exceptional young men. Your commitment to hard work and resilience has set a standard for the entire team, and we are confident that these qualities will serve you well in your next chapter of life. We will miss the daily interactions with each of you, but are excited to see the positive impact you will undoubtedly make in the future. A heartfelt thank you to the parents for raising such outstanding young men and for their unwavering support over the past 4 years. Your contributions to the success of these athletes has not gone unnoticed, and we appreciate everything you have done for the Colfax basketball program. Coach Knoll, Coach Gilson, and Coach Height. Seniors, when your name is announced, please go to half court to receive your award. Number 10, Elijah Ensminger. Elijah's favorite basketball memory was scoring 1,000 career points. His advice to younger players is to work hard and don't give up. Listen to your coaches because they are always trying to get you to be your best. His greatest influences are Kobe. His future plans is to enter the workforce. His appreciations are thank you for all of my coaches for pushing me to be better and my family for always supporting me, coming to my games and driving me to games and practices no matter where they were. From Coach Knoll, Elijah is not just a great player, he's a super competitor who consistently extracts the utmost from himself on the court. Over the 4 years, Elijah has consistently developed his game, leaving an indelible mark on our team. What stands out most is the passion he brings to the court, infusing each play, whether in a game or practice, with the same energy and enthusiasm. Elijah's pull-up jumper is truly one of the best I've seen, and his scoring prowess has undoubtedly leave him as one of the top 4 scorers of all time in our program's history. I am particularly impressed with how he has evolved into a formidable defensive player and took on the challenge to guard anyone, no matter what position. Elijah's year-round commitment, including open gyms, leagues, and tournaments, has been unwavering, and he can always be relied upon. Elijah has a unique ability to elevate the play of everyone around him, raising the level of competition for the entire team. As he moves on to the next chapter, we express our gratitude for his dedication and wish him the very best of luck in all his future endeavors. Thank you, Elijah. Number 15, Mason Yarrington. Mason's favorite basketball memory were going to summer tournaments and going out to eat with everyone. On the court, it was scoring 30 points with 8 three-pointers in a JV game against Thorpe. His advice to younger players, have fun and be a great teammate. Basketball is even better when you are having fun with your friends. His biggest influences are Coach Knoll, Coach Kittleson, and Amber Johnson. His future plans, he's excited to pursue his passion for sports by attending UW Lacrosse for sports management. He's very appreciative of all the support his family has given him over his athletic career. From Coach Knoll, affectionately known as the Slim Reaper, Mason's leadership will be sorely missed. We consistently entrusted him with the role of our defensive roamer, where he excelled and helped with starting numerous fast breaks. Mason has demonstrated exceptional growth as a player over his career. His ability to get hot from the three-point line has added an electrifying dimension to our offense, often turning the tide in crucial moments. Beyond his athletic contributions, Mason has been a stellar example of a student athlete, displaying outstanding leadership both on and off the court. Dependable and committed, he has consistently risen to the occasion. We are confident that his commitment to excellence will pave the way for a successful future in sports management. We wish him continued success and express our gratitude for the positive impact he has had on our team. Thank you, Mason. Number 23, Blake Johnson. Blake's favorite basketball memory is hanging out with friends and making new ones throughout the years. One of his most unforgettable moments was when his tire popped on the way to a summer tournament in Dubuque, Iowa, and didn't even know he had a spare tire in his car. Thanks to the refs for stopping and helping him. His advice to younger players, don't ever doubt yourself. If you know you can shoot the ball, shoot the ball. If you know you can score, go get a bucket. His greatest influences are his mother, even though she might be a bit full of herself when she makes it. Stephen Curry has been a major influence, making him want to shoot the three when he gets the ball. His future plans is he aspires to be an electrician. Thank you to his family and everyone who has always been there to support him, no matter what. From Coach Knoll, Blake has shown an outstanding work ethic and versatility. As the player we often entrusted with guarding the opposing team's best player, he showcased not only his defensive prowess, but a commitment to the team's success. Blake has the ability and adaptability to seamlessly transition between positions, from point guard to a post position. Blake's dedication to attending open gyms, participating in leagues, and competing in tournaments year-round reflects his deep passion for the game. As he embarks on the next chapter of his life, we express our gratitude for the impact he has had on our team and wish him the very best in all his future endeavors. Thank you, Blake. Number 33, Eli Ralph. Eli's favorite basketball memory: in the course of one play, he got hit in the face with an elbow, and then a basketball hit him in the face, just shortly after that. His advice to younger players: work hard when no one is watching. The greatest influence for him is Larry Bird. His future plans are to attend UW Stout for Tech Ed and become a teacher. He appreciates his family for all their support through the years. From Coach Knoll, we want to extend our sincere appreciation for the impactful presence he has had on our basketball team. Renowned as a physical player, Ralphie possesses an admirable quality of rarely falling, in his words. He consistently rises to challenges, embodying a competitive spirit that I greatly admire. Eli's unwavering dedication to the team, always willing to undertake any role asked of him, speaks volumes about his team-first mentality. Over the past 4 years, he has diligently developed his game, becoming a reliable and dependable asset to the team year-round. Eli's commitment extends beyond the court, and we are confident that he will achieve success in all his future endeavors. As he moves forward in life, we extend our best wishes to Eli, and whoever has the privilege of having him as a Tech Ed teacher will undoubtedly be fortunate to have such a dedicated and passionate educator. Thank you, Eli. Let's have one more big round of applause. Thank you all of our seniors.
There you have it, the 23-24 Colfax Viking Boys team with the 4 seniors in front: Eli Ralph, Blake Johnson, Mason Yarrington, and Elijah Ensminger. And we will be back with the rest of our post-game show in a minute. You're watching Colfax Viking Boys Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN 2, and Viking TV.
Multiple studies have shown that marijuana can slow both driver reaction and response time, which can be really dangerous. He's here. He's here. Wait. What? I can't drive. Why? My. Oh. No, you can't.
Welcome back. Mark Knoll, head coach of the Vikings, with us now on Viking pregame, and solid effort to wrap up the regular season going into tournament time.
Yeah, I mean that was fun, right? We made it. I think everyone got their. How much does it cost to get in the game? $4, $5? $4. You guys got your money's worth. Everyone got their money's worth tonight. 4-point game. I give Mondovi credit. They were playing really hard. They were making some good shots in that first half. We had a 4-point lead. In the second half, we started to relax and started to make some shots, and we scored 42 points in the second half. So when you can do that and you have your inside and outside game going on, great things are going to happen.
And that's got to be a great momentum to take you into tournament play, which is coming up Tuesday already.
I think seeing Mason and Aiden and Blake hitting some threes. Elijah made threes. I'm sure someone else probably did, but those four were making threes tonight.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we can do. That's what we see in practice. When we practice, we see those guys do that. So we know they're capable, and it was fun to watch. It was fun to see the four seniors go out on a win. If Boyceville lost tonight, that means that we'd be tied for fourth with Boyceville, but we had swept them, so really we would finish fourth place in conference. So we're hoping that that's what happened tonight.
You want to say anything more about your group of seniors? A lot was said before.
Well, I can remember when we talked about me possibly becoming the coach, and I came to an open gym and just sat in the corner right over here and watched. And just kind of was watching, and two of the first kids I saw shooting that day was Mason and Elijah, and they were shooting on that hoop over there. And they were little; they were both like 5'3" or 4. They were not very big kids, but I thought, holy cow! They just keep making shot after shot after shot after shot. Now you got Elijah, who's currently the 4th all-time leading scorer in Colfax basketball history. Mason has, that potential like he showed tonight where he can hit shots, and that does help our team a ton when he does that. And then Ralph, and then I knew Blake because I knew his mom. I coached his Amber a little bit when she was younger, and so I knew of Blake. I didn't know him, and I thought that's a nice group to work with. Ralphie and the kids, I thought this is a nice group. So I'm happy for those guys to have a senior night the way they did, come out on top. And that all, make baskets and have big plays tonight. That was fun to watch.
What leadership do you see from that group?
The leadership, seriously, from all four, if I called them 30 minutes from now and said, hey, I got a flat tire, I need help, they're all going to be there. And vice versa. If they called me and said, now I may not be able to help them, I'll find someone that can help them with a flat tire. But just kidding. But
and it sounded like Amanda was a target tonight too down there. Yeah.
I know that if I called any of them or needed anything, they would be there. When we had our tournaments, our camps, our leagues, or our youth tournaments, they were there. I could count on them, and I knew the job would get done, whatever it was that we asked of them. Those are great leaders. They've shown the younger kids what it takes to be a leader. And not only with their play, but with their work ethic and their communication skills. Because that's something that I'm actually really big on, is that I want these kids to leave here being able to talk and be able to communicate. So when they go out in the real world, they can do that. Because if you can do that, you can be very successful.
Yes, sure can. Do you know much about Shell Lake?
A little bit. I mean, I know they've got their two best players are their inside kids. They will throw a little bit of a junk defense at us, like a 1-1-3 and a couple other things. So we've got to be ready for that. And more than anything, I think it just comes down to just executing and be loose and just play hard. You're not going to see anything that we haven't seen all year. So we've seen it all. So we just got to be able to attack it when it comes our way. And I want to end this with you guys too. I really appreciate all of you guys' work that you guys do, the traveling and all that, and coming to games and supporting Colfax basketball. So for those that can't make it to the games, can watch it. And for a family that's far away, or maybe even they're close by, they just can't get to the gym. So I really appreciate you guys doing that. That means a lot to me, and it means a lot to the community.
Well, it's been a pleasure, Mark. Congratulations on your season, and it continues on Tuesday. We appreciate all that you've done for Colfax basketball and for us as well.
Thank you very much. Go Vikings.
All right, Mark Knoll, head coach of the Colfax Vikings, on our post-game show. And the final score tonight, 68-52. Are we ready to go through the numbers? Let's do that. You're up,
what
Dan.
are we doing?
Were you putting the boat away, or what?
Yeah, right. Here's the scores for Mondovi tonight. They had Jake Lindsay with 9. Denton Liesel had 3. We had Landon Clark with 8. Austin Remington had 16. Caden Deeden had 12. Mason Brenner had 1. For the Colfax Vikings, they're led tonight by number 10, Ensminger. He had 22. We had Aiden Fisher with 13. We had Hovde with 2. We had Mason Arrington, who was on a hot streak. He had 5 threes. He had 16 points. We had Blake Johnson with 7. Eli Ralph had 2. Nate Edwards had 2. And Logan Schwartz had 4. 68-52. Colfax gets the win.
So Colfax going into the tournament 9-15 on the year. So as we mentioned, this is the final 2023-24 Colfax Vikings basketball presentation here on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, but we do want to invite you to join us starting April 1st, weather permitting, for Colfax Viking Baseball. That will begin with the Bullpen Show at 4:40 p.m., followed by live play-by-play. And then the Northern Light Webcasting Network is your place to be for Chippewa Valley Phoenix Semi-Pro Football, and that will get underway April 6th when the Phoenix go to take on the Wilmer Mud Dogs in Wilmer, Minnesota. Phoenix Rising, the pregame show starting at 1:30, play-by-play to follow. So to get a complete schedule and update as far as when those games will air, go out to www.northernlightwebcastingnetworkaltogether.com. So for our executive producer, Rick Olson, camera operator Chris Olson, and Dan Petshaw, I'm Jay Fall. Thank you very much for joining us throughout this season here, and we look forward to being back with you in the spring and summer. Good night.
You've been listening to Viking Postgame, a wrap-up of today's Colfax Viking Boys game. You can catch Colfax Vikings games by tuning in to any of the Northern Light Webcasting Network outlets. This has been a production of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.